Alright class, in this video we're going to take all these sorts, well a few of these sorts that we put together, and we're going to take them out of this main. Now all the sorts are really useful. There of course is the built-in one, which is significantly better, but if we want to use any of these that we wrote, it's kind of tedious to just copy and paste it over into the code and just take up all this room. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a sorting object. So simple, I'm just going to make a new class. I'll just call it sorter. Boom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move some of these things over. For example, the fill, maybe even print. Doot. Boom. Maybe make a little constructor, all that stuff. So what we're going to do is whenever we need to sort anything, we can just say sorter sorted, and we should be able to sort them. That way our main code won't have as much junk in it. So let's start off. Well, first off, I probably should have some sort of array for this, right? So public int array. That'll be our array. Whenever we create our sorter, we'll pass array values over to it and use it to sort them. So public sorter int array. This dot array equals array. There we go. So whenever I create a sorter, I'll give it whatever array I'm going to use, and voila, there it'll be. We can use the fill, and for this I'm going to get rid of these statics because I don't need them since I'm over here in this object. There we go. Public void fill. It'll fill the array, whatever the array happens to be. And actually, I probably don't even need to pass it anymore, unless I just want to use a specific one. But we'll just leave it like this for now. Print. All right, so we're just going to do this very simply. I'm going to grab the simplest of the sorts, and you can do this with the others too. But I'll just go down and grab, let's say, the bubble sort, for example. And I'll just copy that. Copy. Paste. There we go. And I'm just basically just copying things over. So you should have all this code already. And all I'm doing is just moving stuff over here. So I've got my array that we're going to use when we sort. Whenever I create a sorter, I'm going to tell it what the array we're going to be using is. This, of course, means when I create an array, I can only use one array, or when I create a sorter, rather, I can only use one array at a time. So I could adjust this so I could do it for any. I suppose there is a way we could do that. Let me just line those up. So yeah, there is an issue. Whenever I create it, I tell it what the array is. I can fill it, I can print it. But if I need to set it to something else, I can't, at least not as of right now. So let's go ahead and see if we can fix that too while we're here. Might as well. So I'm just going to go public void set array int array. This dot array equals array. So what this will do is, if I want to change the array at any time, I can do it here. I just say set array to this array, and then we can use that instead. So if I want to do that, I should be able to do this with here. Of course, we have to be careful because if we set a new array, it may just dump the old array and we'll never see it again. If we don't care about it, then it doesn't matter. But for what we're doing here, it should be okay. So we've got a fill, and I just took out the array I'm passing because it's going to be up here. I've got a print. Same, took out the array because it's a global variable now. And I got bubble sort. I don't have to pass it an array for this. And of course, it breaks. So let's see what its major problem is. Oh, because of this, I don't need the static anymore. And that should fix most of my issues. So let's test this. Let's see if this works. I mean, I've got a print. I've got a bubble sort. Let's do another print. Public void print L, I'll call it. And all it's going to do is just print arrays.to toString array. And of course, that'll import the arrays at the top if I do that. So I'm just going to make another one just to make it look a little prettier. We could use either or. Now I could move every one of these sorts over and basically do the same thing. Right now I just moved bubble sort over. So you kind of see the idea here. So if I go back to main, my sorting file that we've had before, that's what this is. If I wanted to move any of these over, I would take out the static, and everything else pretty much would stay the same. I'd still need these helper and number values and stuff. The big change, let's say in merge sort, for example, instead of me passing values, I would just use array at the top. That's the only thing that would change. Everything else can pretty much stay the same, minus the static. If I was using quicksort, same thing, get rid of the static. The initial input array would just erase, and that would be array instead of input array. Everything else would pretty much stay the same. Selection sort, just get rid of that. And since I called it array, I wouldn't have to change much of anything else. So let's see if this works properly. All right. So actually, I think I just cut and paste my fills, which I didn't fully intend to do here, but it's fine. Should have copied and pasted it. Well, anyway, I've got an array. I'm going to create a sorter. Sorter S, I'll just say sort, equals new sorter with that array. And it made it. So if I say sort dot, and if I go down the list, oh no, I hit the button, sorter dot, fill. And we'll just say, 10,000, 100,000. Doesn't matter, that's the range, 0 to that. All right, and then I'll say sort dot print L. And actually, let's go ahead and make this smaller. Let's say 100. And let's give this a check. So I'll comment out the sorts. The times, let's just leave that as it is. Let's take a little test. All right, well, I see an array with numbers in it. So that worked. So since that works, I'll go down here and I will say sort dot bubble sort. And what this should do, if I did sort dot print at the end of this, let's just go here. Sort dot print L, since it looks prettier. We run it, and guess what? That looks like that's pretty much in order. If I change the size of this, boop, boop, boop. Dun, 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 dun. How big did I make that? 100,000 should be okay. So there it goes, 12 seconds. Now on lesser computers, this would probably be 30 or 40. It depends on the computer itself. But as you can see, my sorter works. So now I could get, just move all this stuff over. And basically my main would just have, whatever I put here, basically. So this would be a good test for anyone doing the video, just start moving stuff over to your sorter. And remember, you don't need the static. That's pretty much the major issue there. And since we're using this global array, you don't have to worry about anything else. Now again, the major issue here is if I needed another array, I'd have to, you know, array B, for example. I'd have to basically say sort dot set array and set it to that one. Then I could use a new array all fresh and clean. So this is just a quick little rundown of how to move all this stuff over into kind of a sorting object, kind of keep it more organized. If we had a project where we were doing a whole bunch of different things, you know, you certainly wouldn't want like things like this all in your main. We could erase pretty much all of this and just have like 10 lines here. And all the sorting code and all this other stuff could be shuffled over into this sorter object. And it has the prints and the different sorts we want. We can just pick and choose from there. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Again, I just opened up the sorting file we've been working on in the previous projects, and I just copied over a couple of things. Quick sort, of course, is a little bit more meaty along with merge sort. So as you can see, ta-da, I'd have to just take out the statics. And then here, that would just be taken out, and we'd have to make a few little adjustments, but it would still be fine. We could just say sort.qsort from that point on. Unless you want to change the name of it to something else. But there you go. That is how to create a sorting object. An object that'll sort things for us. We just create the sorter and give it the array, and we can sort whatever we want. If I want different arrays, we got that covered with the set. If I want to refill it, I can just say sort.fill again, and it'll refill that same array with different numbers. Won't have to worry about making multiple that way. But there you go.